Hiya folks, haven't done a video for a while. I thought we'd do this little catch-up video and make a few t-shirts. See you in a second. Right, well, as you know, I've probably not done a video for a while since the Ghost Transfer Toner videos which I've done. I'm not actually using them papers, by the way, if anyone asks in the comment sections. I think personally they're a little bit too fiddly to do, especially for beginners, and it's not 100% success rate as opposed to the papers that I'm originally using, which I've been using for the past 13 years, which is the inkjet printers, which I use a dye-based ink for, which is a basic Epson printer, as you know, and I've been using them, and the results are consistent all the time. And providing you're using the right equipment, the right heat press, using the right temperatures, using the right ink and the right papers, and you're following what I'm doing, you should get exactly the same results. I do get a lot of people actually send me messages saying that they're using the same papers as me, and I know I've used them for so many years, but they said they're getting them after a couple of washes, they're cracking. And as soon as I asked them what heat press they're using, they say a cheap one. And I did exactly the same thing when I started off 13 or so years ago, when I was using vinyls, and I was using sublimation with the heat press that I had, which was a cheap one. Everything was working fine on mouse mats and stuff like that. As soon as I tried the t-shirt transfers, exactly the same ones as I'm still using, they failed. They wouldn't peel off properly, and there was terrible problems with it. And to the point, as I said before, where I nearly give up. As soon as I got a decent heat press, I had the Styles Hotronics at the time. Everything was fine then, and everything was perfect, and it has been for the last 13 years, even though I've changed heat presses now, but I've not bought a cheap one. I went for another, a higher quality press, which the one I'm using at the moment, as you can probably see there, is the Galaxy Swing Away press, but I've used Galaxy and I've used Style. Those are the main presses that I've used. The one I used right at the very beginning was a cheap unbranded Chinese one, which I paid about £175 for. No good whatsoever. Okay for small stuff, but not for the t-shirt printing with transfers. So anyway, that's that. So why haven't I done a video for a while? Well, I've been very, very busy with my other channels as well. Sharon, as you know, does the t-shirt business and runs that now. I pop in now and again and do a video for you, a little tutorial. But I've also been in hospital for 5 days, a couple of weeks back now, or last week rather. And I was quite ill to have a 5-day hospital stay. I had some sort of infection. And they had to treat that with intravenous antibiotics, and anyway, the first set didn't work. My temperature was 103.1, and they couldn't get that down with the antibiotics, so I had to have paracetamol to bring it down. Anyway, after 5 days in hospital, I was well enough to come home, and still on the antibiotics at the moment. But as I say, I haven't done a t-shirt video for a while, so I've got 3 little ones to do here. Well, I've got 2 t-shirts and a vest, actually, which we don't normally do vests, but one of our subscribers has asked for a vest. And so we're going to be doing that. So let me show you first of all, one of the problems I did come up again. Now, we always use the same supplier for our t-shirt garments, whatever. We predominantly only do black, we predominantly only do white t-shirts, cotton that is, and we also do hoodies as well, which we can do in various different colours. But we don't actually stock the hoodies, we only stock black and white t-shirts from small up to XXL. That's our normal range. If we need anything different than that, we just phone our supplier up and they ship them the next day. Alright, you have to pay a £6.50 postage cost, but obviously it's worth our while if we want a big order and we need someone in pretty quickly, so they're next day delivery. They've never really let us down. The only time they have let us down is when we've changed garments, like I'm going to show you now. Now, I asked them for a 5XL vest. Now, as I said, we never print on vests before, so it was a new thing for us. We didn't know about the sizes, because all our sizes are pretty constant. We use the same t-shirts all the time, and we've actually got a size chart for that t-shirt brand. And with different types of brands, if you're jumping between different t-shirt manufacturers, you can get different sizes. So we asked for a 5XL vest. Let me show you. And they sent us this one, which is a Fruit of the Loom. Now, to my way of thinking, just looking at that initially, that is not a 5XL vest. Now, I normally wear an XL t-shirt or vest or whatever, and this is supposed to be a 5XL. Now, let me just show you. As you can probably see there, I don't know if you can or not, that's a Fruit of the Loom 5XL vest. So if I lay that down on the counter and just lay it out flat. Now, I've got my measure here. We're going to do it in inches because they normally measure the chest in inches. So if I put that from side to side, let me show you. So laying across the flats, we go from obviously the side there, which is right at the beginning. If we come right along the garment there to the other side, it's 24.5 inches. Now 24.5 inches, I went online, and 24.5 inches basically equates to a 3XL, which is about, if you double 24, that's a 48 to 50 inch garment here. And if you go online and type in 5XL size in inches, a 5XL should be somewhere in the region between 57 and 60 inches. So half of 57, or half of 60 should be 30. So you're looking at a 29 or 28. So we're well short here. So anyway, I phoned up my normal supplier, and they asked me to send a photographic evidence. So I took a picture of what I've just shown you there, sent it off to him. I said, well, for God's sake, it's for a customer. Do send me, or do check, because this definitely, although it's marked up as 5XL, it's coming up as a 3XL, and that's no good for me to print on whatsoever. So anyway, they said that they would get it measured and all that. Anyway, cut a long story short, they sent another one in the post to me within the next day. This is the one they sent me, and straight away I thought, they've not checked that. So what I've done was lay it on top of the original 5XL that they sent me. Sure enough, this one was marked up as a 5XL as well. And I think you'll find there, no one's done any checking there. That's exactly the same size, look. Exactly the same size. So that's 24, that's a 48.5 inch chest garment now. Don't forget, I'm dealing with a large supply here. They're probably not really interested in one garment. They probably got off the phone and said, oh, send this person out another 5XL. Without even, they didn't charge me for this, by the way. So obviously they needed the photographic proof just to see that it was the size it was. They probably sent it out to dispatch, said, oh, put another 5XL in the post for that person, and out it's gone. Breakdown of communication, this is no good to me. So anyway, I had to go on eBay and find one. Now let me just show you the difference between the one I got in the post. You'll probably see this straight away. So this was the one which I got off of eBay, and straight away, I don't know whether you can see or not, it's far, far bigger. Look, you can see that is probably a 5XL. And when I lay this underneath the other two, let's just put that to the one side, lay this on the worktop here. Now, as I said to you, 5XL should be between 58 and 60 inches across the chest. So if I just lay that like that, again, I've not had this brand before. What is it, by the way? Let's have a little look. It's got a UK 5XL. In the US, it's a 4XL, so it's coming up at 77 centimeters there. This is the brand. I don't know what it is, but I've never used this one before. D555. I don't know what that is. But anyway, so this is it. And straight away, let me just measure this one. You can see, again, I've gone under the armpit there, all the way along to the other side, and that comes up at 30 inches, which when you double that up is 60 inches, which is what a 5XL should be. The other one was 24.5, so that's where the other one come. So we had that amount shorter for a 5XL just by going with a different brand. So that's just something to be aware of. If you are chopping and changing between brands, the sizes can come up different. That's why I only use the same supplier for the same garments. As I say, I don't normally do this. We're doing this as a special one-off for one of my retro restore customers. So it had to be right. And I've got two 5XL off of my original supplier, which didn't cut the mustard. And even though I sent it back, didn't send it back, I sent them photographic proof, they just sent me the same size again. So one thing to check, keep your suppliers, your t-shirts that you use all the time regular. Know what the sizes are, because if it don't fit the customer, they'll be phoning back to you. And if you've had printing which you've had to do onto that garment, it's a lot of time and money wasted. So just something to be aware of there when ordering garments. We don't, to say, normally sell these, but we're doing it as a one-off. So anyway, that's that. So anyway, I'm going to press this now. I might as well do this one first. I'm going to leave the tags on it, by the way. And this is where a bigger press does help, because this is a 16 by 20, as you know, swing away press. And the bigger the garment, the more hassle you can have pressing these things, basically. So now this has got a wire on this, so I'm just going to take the wire tag off. It's a plastic wire tag, and I'll just tie them back on again afterwards. So what I'm going to do is literally, as before, is just press the garment first of all, just to get it nice and flat. I like to do that, and I also like to put the crease down the middle as well, as you know, so that I can find my natural centre of the garment without having to do any measuring. Right, that's it. That's just to get the moisture out. You do see steam coming out the side of the garment there when you press them like this. So all I'm going to do now is literally fold the garment in half, as you've seen me do with the t-shirts many a time. I want this to hang straight, you see, so just make sure you line it up properly. It's a little bit harder with a larger garment like I've got here, because you want to make sure that everything falls straight. Just pull that out. Get out there. There we go. Once we've done this, we can line our graphics up. There we go. And as you can probably, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got my line straight down the centre of the garment there, so I'm happy with that. Now, when you're dealing with a garment this big, it is a special, and we normally charge a bit more money. We charge £1 for every XL size we go up from. Let's say from small to XL, we charge a set price, and anything over XL, if it's an XXL, we charge an extra £1. If it's an XXXL, we charge an extra £2. Up to, as I say, 5XL, we charge an extra XXXXL, whatever it is, an extra £1, because we have to change the graphics on this. We can't normally put the normal size graphics on. As you can probably see here, I've increased the size of the graphics. That's the normal size graphics there, as you can probably see. Oh, let me get the other bit as well and I'll show you. So this would be, I ain't sticking these on here at the moment, I'm just showing you the difference in size basically. So this means you've got to do a bit more work, that's all. That would go that way around, wouldn't it? Yep. And that would go that way around. So as you can see, I've actually increased the size of the actual main part of the graphic. It's quite a bit bigger, and also the writing is also a bit longer as well. So just to let you know that we do that for garments of this sort of size, because you don't want your graphic to get lost on the garment. And here, what we normally do, as you know, is get our graphic, fold it in half, back to back. We don't want the sticky side to sticky side, so it's back to back there, so the sticky side is on the outside. We basically line everything up, and when we put a crease down the middle, as I've shown you before, open it up, we've got a line straight down the centre there, which is the centre of the graphic. We've got our line down our t-shirt or vest or whatever, and all we need to know is how high to put it. Well, with this graphic I know roughly how high to put it, so I'm just going to line it up with a line underneath, and then press the mylar down. Now sometimes the mylar sticks pretty good, sometimes it doesn't stick very good. And all you do then is just get some of your heat tape, as I've shown you many a time, just put it across the corners diagonally so that it can't move. There we go, so I'm happy with that. I'll then get my next graphic, which is me writing. This is the larger one? Yeah, this is the larger one. Again, fold that back to back till the end of the letters match up and everything's lining up correctly, as you can probably see there. And then crease down the middle. And then again, a nice little mylar crease down there, line it up with our crease on here. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up. And as I've said before, if you're cutting all your writing, or all your mylar with straight lines, it also helps line everything up. Now what I mean by that is, as you can see, I've got a straight line on the bottom of this square piece of mylar, and I've got a straight line on the top of this mylar, and even though we've got our line going down the centre there with our crease, the mylar, you can look, the gap's pretty much the same all the way along there. So I know that's straight because I've actually cut the lines of the mylar straight. Some people, you'll find when they've printed it out or cut it out, they'll just go around it with a pair of scissors. And that's okay, but that gives you more lining up to do. This way, I know it's straight because I know I've cut my mylar straight and it's sticking down and it looks straight as well. Even though I've got my centre line down there. It's like a double check, so to speak. Right, so that's that bit on there. And yet again, all my mylar is cut straight again. I'm going to fold that in half again. Again, till the ends line up. And then, when everything's straight, put my crease down the middle. Again, my centre line lines up with my centre line on there. Like that. Now I know everything's centre there. And all I've got now is the word YouTube here, which I've got to do a little bit of alteration to. And put the little red TV background behind it. So all I've got to do now is lift the word tube up. And just slide the little TV underneath it until it's in the right place. So I just hold the red box in place underneath, so when I peel this back off and cut this out of the way, I know that that word tube is in the right place. that that little TV's in the right place, and then stick it down and hold it in place. Because I've got to put this on afterwards, you see. I can't stick this on top of there because it'll be sticking on the back end, the Mylar. So that's that all ready to go now. So let's bring it back over to our heat press. Plonk it on our heat press. Again, I don't want the collars underneath, as you know. I just want to press on the flat of the t-shirt there. So I'm happy with that there. So and all I'm going to do is cover that over with our Mylar sheet, and then we're going to press that for 20 seconds at 165 degrees C. Now don't forget, we're going to have to double press this because we've got that little word tube to go on still. There we go, so that's that. Pull that back, remove that. Again, this is all hot peel, this garment. The vinyl I use. Let's have a look here. So you should be able to pull this off while it's hot, and there should be no issues or problems whatsoever. Get that tape off of there, look. There we go, there's the first bit off. The second bit, which is our green, and also the white's coming up as well. How about that? There we go. Get that off as well. Right, okay, so that's our graphic there. I'm just going to place the word tube on there manually now, like that, and then cover it up again, put it over there, under there, and let's press it down. Okay, that's it. We do that for another 20 seconds. There we go. Swing her out. Oh, that's hot. Like that. Take the word tube off. And there we go. There's our 5XL large printed garment there with enlarged graphics for a unique customer. I'll leave that for Sharon to fold up. Oh, okay, this time we've got a 3XL t-shirt, and again it's pretty much the same as the other one. I don't really need to show you this really, but I thought I will do. This is another t-shirt that we use regularly. It's a Gildan Hammer t-shirt, and we find them very, very good. We normally use Gildan G5000 t-shirts, and they work well for us, and we're happy with them. But this is to say, it's a new brand we're trying out, and again we're happy with these as well. A lot of people come on my later videos and ask me, what equipment do you use, what this do you use, what printer do you use. Well, if you look at my videos, you'll see exactly what I use. I try to be as transparent as possible with how I run my business and what we use, but obviously I can't give everything away in the videos, because what I've had before is actually people copy me. For example, I used to tell people my my eBay stores, for example, and what they would do would be to go to my eBay store, see exactly what I was doing, and actually copy my exact designs, my exact niches, and then they wonder why I don't tell them that. You know, or let me go, or I'll get people say, can I go to your eBay shop because I want to order a t-shirt off you? Well, I say, just send me a private message, because I know what it's like. People use that as a get-in to go and see what my shop is. And as I say, to that extent, we used to have 5 shops on eBay, but we're actually down to about 2 shops now, which we actually use. But yeah, people can be very, very sneaky. It's not as if I give away enough. Or then you get people saying, oh, you do this wrong, you do that wrong. I've been doing this for 13 years. Don't tell me how to do it, and I've been running a business. I don't sit in forums and go and argue with people. You get people go in forums, oh, he's only trying to sell DVDs and all that. No, this is my business. I run a business. This is actually how we earn our money. So earning money and making an informational product or training product is what I do. I give away so much free information on YouTube anyway, and it seems like certain people seem to begrudge because you're selling the product as well. Well, this is the real world. Do you argue with TV adverts when you see them on there saying, oh, you're just trying to sell me a product? No, of course you don't. So don't come out with those stupid statements like that. Some people really are literally keyboard warriors and just sit there and try and pick out or leave a negative or whatever just for the sake of doing it when they don't actually do anything themselves. But I don't care, because I've been doing this, as I said to you, for 13 odd years. And I started this little business because it was a learnable business that anyone can do, and you don't need much qualification. You don't need any qualifications to do this sort of thing. And that was one of the reasons why I got into it. And also, it was an impulse buy market. In other words, the sort of people who buy t-shirts online, especially on YouTube, and to buy it now, because you choose a niche that's their passion, for example, whatever the passion may be. You put a product out there, because 9 times out of 10 people search eBay for products in their passion. And if your t-shirt pops up and it's late at night, oh, I'll have one of them, I'll buy that, and that's what they do. What am I doing now? Cut the little word telly out. Hold on. But as I say, people used to try and copy my ideas. People say to me all the time, what transfer papers do you use? Well, if you want the transfer papers, I'll give away everything else to you. If you want to know what the transfer papers are, buy my training DVD, or get it on Udemy, for example. I've got my training DVDs on Udemy as well, which again is a paid subscription, but a lot of people seem to resent the fact that they might have to buy something when all the information is on YouTube for free, as they come out with. Well, that's total rubbish, because when I was a beginner, when I started off, it wasn't there for free, because people tell you one thing and then probably do something else, and they never share anything with you. Even in the forums and all that, you've got these so-called experts, and all they're doing basically is bigging themselves up all the time. But 9 times out of 10, they've got thousands and thousands of posts in these forums. What are they doing with their lives? I haven't got the time to go into forums and leave posts and all that, especially saying that, oh, you're helping people. 9 times out of 10, they're not helping anybody apart from themselves, because they want to be seen as an expert. I'll do my proof on here where you can see me physically do the stuff, and I'll tell you the stuff that I use as well. And if that's not good enough for you, well, then carry on looking, mate. It's as simple as that. But anyway, I'm not ranting, because I'm doing a t-shirt video for you to let the beginners see. Oh, I've lost me. That annoys me when the old tape drops off, the heat tape off of this holder. Little things like that. Yeah, when the people say, oh, you know, you're doing it wrong, or this, that, the other. No, I'm not doing it wrong. I've done this for 13 years, and I've found the right formula that works for me with the right equipment. And if you want to do what I do, copy me. It's as simple as that, and hopefully you get the same results. But if you're using different equipment like cheap heat presses, as I keep saying, it's not going to work. That's simple. Right, let's get this under the heat press. Right, okay, so this one's a large t-shirt, and this is for a YouTuber who runs competitions, and I do quite a few for this chap. And all he does is when he runs a competition, he sends me an email and says, oh, can you send it off to so-and-so at so-and-so address, and he pays me directly. So I'm happy with that. It works well for me, it works well for him. He hasn't got to do any stock, and he can order one at a time, so to speak, and that's the way we do it. And I know with his one, for example, his writing from the collar at the top down to the top of the number 66 here, for example, is 23.5 inches, centimetres. And that's how I know with his one where to put the graphics. So if I put that there, for example, stick that down, that's the only bit of measuring I have to do. And then I just get my heat tape, hold it on in places. Because this is a multicoloured vinyl I use here for his one. Normally I charge more for that. He's a regular customer, so I'll do them for him a bit cheaper. So that's that. I know now that's not going to move. So again, I have to do a bit of jiggering. Normally, as I say, when you do more different colours or more colours, you normally have to charge a bit more, because it is a bit more time consuming. And that's why, because once I remove this bit, a straight line goes, you see. That's why I've stuck these in place, these first two. And then I get the second word, which I know sits in there like that. And then I like to get a straight edge. Where is it? Again, and just run that underneath the text, and just make sure that the one I've just put in is also in the correct location before I actually finally stick it down. And again, I'll just reinforce that by putting some tape across it just to make sure that doesn't move. I'll get my final graphic, which goes in the middle there. Again, a little bit of tape like that. That's none that's going to move now. Final bit on the bottom. Again, just fold that over, find the middle. There's our straight line. Normally, to do something like this, I used to get the tape measure out, measure between there and there, there and there. But using that centre line system, which I was the first person on YouTube to show that, by the way. Just like I was the first person on YouTube to actually show the heat gun on the heat plate of your heat press, showing the temperature, how the differential of it is. And no one else was doing that or showing that until I do it. And now you go on YouTube or any other learning platform with t-shirt printing, and they'll all show you the heat gun method. And I was the first person to introduce that. You try and find a video earlier than mine which shows that in the t-shirt market, and you won't find one. So I'm a bit of a pioneer when it comes to that, so I do know what I'm talking about, and I'll try and bring that information to you as well. Anyway, that's another story. I'm not reading from any scripts when I show you this stuff. I'm speaking as I do it. I know what I'm going to say, and the reason why I know what I'm going to say is because I've been doing this for so long. So anyone who comes along and tries to belittle or small mouth or bad mouth me in the forums, for example, where's their proof and back up to what they're suggesting? I'll show you exactly what I do, and that is the best proof physically that you can ever go and look at. Look at someone who's showing you all the way through the years what they've been doing, and you'll probably find out that everything I'm doing now is exactly the same as I was doing all the years ago when I started, back in 2005, when I started off doing the mug pressing first of all, and then I think it's 2006 we started doing the t-shirts. But I nearly gave up, as I said to you before, because I had the wrong equipment. And no matter how many times I went into forums asking the questions, never got the answers I wanted. All you ended up doing was getting either shot down or people belittling you because you're a newbie. Don't ask a stupid basic question like that. That was one of the common things I used to get told when I was right at the very beginning. Or they also say, just go through the questions or the knowledge base. Don't waste our time in here asking the silly questions at the beginning. And that's what most beginners go with. And when I decided to start doing YouTube videos and all this stuff, it was something that I wanted to show and share people that the trouble that I had right at the beginning. And that's the reason why I've done my training DVDs. Once I found my system that worked for me, then I wanted to share that with other people. Of course people are going to have to pay for that because it's my time at the end of the day. Do you know how much time it takes to edit and produce and script a video, so to speak, where you know what you're going to say and what you want to show people, and then to answer all the questions they come with afterwards? It takes forever and a day, believe me, but it's what I decided to do, and that was to help people. And if £25 for a training product is too much for people to handle, then don't bother wasting my time and writing that down in the comment section, because that's what I charge for my business, to know the ins and outs of my business, and also for my backup support where I email you personally and help you out personally, which is something I wish I would have had at the very beginning, but I didn't do. So that's the chart. And people I've helped over all these years, some have done nothing, some have started their own little business as hobbies and stuff like that. Some have opened shops now. If I go on Facebook, I'll see some of my people who've done my initial training way back when, who've progressed now and they've opened shops up and they run clothing lines and stuff like that. There is some people who've done absolutely nothing, but that's the people who 9 times out of 10 are just looking for a quick way to make money or to get rich without actually doing anything, because they're taken in by adverts where people say, oh, earn thousands of pounds a month, blah blah blah. Well, it didn't work for me like that at the very beginning. There we go, that's another one for another customer. I'll ship that out today. Anyway, nice to get a video out again. As I say, I haven't done one for a few months now, but that's the reason. I've been very busy with my other channel as well. And as I say, Sharon normally does this, and Sharon doesn't like doing t-shirt videos, although she does appear in some of them with me when I make her do them, But have a look through all my videos. If you want to follow what I do and end up doing what I've done for the last 13 years, I haven't changed anything apart from the equipment. I still use the same inks, I still use the same transfer papers, I still use the same vinyl, I still use the same suppliers. And if you're using similar equipment but not the same, then you might get different results. As I say, I've had people using the same transfer papers with me who have done the course and not followed through, and they've gone and get a cheap heat press, and then they wonder why things aren't working correctly, or the papers that I use, the transfer papers, are cracking or whatever. It's because that they're not heating up correctly, they're not sinking the actual transfer paper into the garment, melting it at the correct temperature, hence they do tend to peel and crack. Use the correct heat press, use the correct equipment, use exactly what I'm using, you should get the same results. It's as simple as that. Anyway, that's enough of that. Have a nice Christmas if I don't speak to you any before that. And don't forget, if you are interested in doing this, either go to udemy.com and type in t-shirt transfer printing. You'll see a lot of people on Udemy with other t-shirt courses like Teespring and how to make your fortunes in t-shirt printing by using other people without actually printing anything at home. Those are different systems. That's not what I do. This is what I do, and you can see that in all my videos. Anyway, thanks very much. See you in the next video. Until then, bye for now.